Hey everyone, welcome back to the Everton Career Mode. It's Season 2, Episode 7, and before we get started here, I just wanted to take a moment to thank you guys for all your support. To all the viewers, subscribers, those who left a like, a comment, I really appreciate all of you. It's been an incredible journey. I started uploading on YouTube just over 3 months ago, and unfortunately it has been difficult to find consistency in terms of uploading. I've been sick nearly half the time and in bed. But slowly things are starting to get back to normal, and I want to wrap my arms around this YouTube thing, really start gaining consistency. There will be a lot more coming on this channel, so please stick with me. If at any point you have any sort of feedback, positive or negative, please leave it in the comment section below. It helps me and I love engaging with you guys. For now, we're gonna get into this episode, and the first game is against Newcastle. And it's an interesting fixture because it doesn't really prove difficult for us, but they're always able to score a goal against us. They're threatening going forward. Now they have a new striker partnership with Mina and Iheanacho. It'll be interesting to see how this dynamic works. They are both quite a handful. And behind them, they have very nice offensive players to complement. Willock, a central attacking midfielder who can go forward. Longstaff, who has a good passing range. So offensively, they'll be looking to do some damage. In terms of their fullbacks, they're going to be bombing forward and providing support. But the way Newcastle plays, they're going to be looking to counter-attack and play direct balls through the middle, with those fullbacks supporting and offering a passing option out wide. The weakest point is probably their defense. They have some veterans like Lascelles and Clark there, but that is still an area that they need to look to improve, and that's the area we're going to look to take advantage of. In terms of the squad, we just came off that Barcelona defeat. However, our next game is against Middlesbrough. I'm going to look to rotate in that squad just a little bit more, so I'm going to put the strongest lineup here. No surprises. I'm putting in Godfrey just to counter some of the pace they have up front and out wide. And hopefully we get a decent result here, guys. We need every point we can get.
Will you please make some noise as we welcome our visitors, Newcastle United, and your Everton. And the Everton lineup is here.
Guys, we came into this game energized and on the front foot straight from the get-go. Alan St. Maximin early on was very lively. He puts the ball in here for Calvert-Lewin and he just misses it. That was a great chance. Then off the corner, Calvert-Lewin does get to it, but it's tipped onto the post. What a chance that was. And we continued to attack Newcastle. Alan St. Maximin against his old club. I mean, he was just moving past people like he was skiing on the slalom at the Olympics. Eventually he does get stopped and Newcastle look to break, but this game, Phillips, he was just on point in the middle of the park, intercepting everything. This one leads to this chance for Richarlison. He squares it to Calvert-Lewin and it's a formality, guys. 1-0. What a great start. What a great play by Phillips, but I have to say, it's so great to have this partnership of Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin back. Tony held down the fort. In fact, he has done incredibly well, but nothing substitutes these guys. Newcastle, right off the kickoff after losing that goal, go straight to the attack. Guendouzi loses his coverage on Willock, and I mean, he just puts in a worldie of a goal from Joe Willock. I have nothing to say. Yes, Guendouzi did lose his coverage, but hats off for that strike. I mean, what a shot from outside the box from Joe Willock. And I would have said, this is unsavable, right? But after looking at the replay, Pickford flew for that. He really almost got that. What incredible stuff here. But we wouldn't hang our hats. And like I said, Calvin Phillips was just everywhere. He really was covering every blade of grass, tackle after tackle, interception after interception. And that led to a number of great chances. Richarlison here, he gets cute. He should have just smashed that. He really should have just smashed that into the bottom corner. Unfortunately, he didn't. Calvin Phillips just amazing with those headers, second chances. This time, Richarlison gets a second chance, and he makes no mistake, guys. He smashes it in this time, and it's 2-1. Here we go. Wow, this partnership, like I said, Calvert-Lewin finds Richarlison, who's running in behind, and he makes no mistake. It's so great to see them back. Newcastle tried to go forward. Another interception here from Calvin Phillips. He really was bossing the midfield, but we give it away and Newcastle find a way to break on us. A great run in from midfield here. From the fullback, actually, from Lewis, and he has a great opportunity, but it's Koulibaly who extinguishes the danger. The second half started much like the first, guys. Calvin Phillips just owned that midfield. He really did. Interception after interception. That sparked the offense. And Allan Saint-Maximin was just having a field day running in behind. This chance was just over the bar. I mean, if he increases his finishing, he will be getting a number of goals for us. His ability to run in behind with his pace is just so deadly. But right off of that, Newcastle counter, and it's a very, very nervy situation here. Max Aarons, he almost puts it into the back of his own net. That is very unlike Max Aarons to not clear that ball. Newcastle play it around. Iheanacho gets it here, flicks it up, and Pickford has to make a great save. But like I said, you cannot have these individual errors. Okay, yes, he was there to rectify his own mistake. Maybe it was going on the post, but these individual errors are the ones that bury us a lot of the times, guys, and we need to make sure not to do those. In terms of some substitutions, Richarlison was very tired, so I decided to bring De Silva and Townsend on, give them some run in the team. We're only playing Newcastle at home, so I thought it was a good chance to give them some game time. Dean has a decent free kick here, and it's saved by Woodman. It was pretty close. I'm working on getting better at these free kicks, and at least this was going where I wanted it to. Woodman makes a good save. But we continue to attack Newcastle pretty much the whole second half. And like I said, Allan Saint-Maximin driving inside, creating for others. Guendouzi gets shot. It's again tipped onto the post. And we continue to have a number of counter-attacking opportunities. Calvert-Lewin actually is becoming really good at spraying these balls. Allan Saint-Maximin running the team ragged. And it's a post again. How many posts can you have in one game? He puts so much effort in, Allan Saint-Maximin. And I wanted to play him for the entire game. I brought on Cantwell. I wanted to go for it and get an extra goal. We only had one opportunity at the end of the game. A great drag back here for Calvert-Lewin. And to be fair, a great save from Woodman. But that's it, guys. 2-1 this game. It's plan minimum. We needed to get the W, and we did. I loved our energy, and we had a number of opportunities. But we really need to bury more away if we're to get a good goal difference. That might matter in the end. But we did get the win, and it's important to do so because December grind is coming, guys. Alright, guys, so that win against Newcastle does keep us at the top of the table, though I do feel it's a little bit misleading because we haven't faced a lot of the teams in the top 8, certainly not City, Liverpool, and Chelsea. So when we do, we're not going to pick up too many points, and we might slide in the table even out of a Champions League spot. So it's crucial to get as many wins as possible before that December grind hits. And games like Middlesbrough, they're just a must win. I am not losing to Middlesbrough. You shouldn't be losing to teams like this because they don't have that much quality. They lack players. Some of their better players like Piero and Fry, they're average Premier League players. And if those are your standouts in your team, you're going to be in a world of pain. Okay, they have some names you might recognize like Paddy McNair. They also have pace in a number of different positions. Their fullbacks are quite pacey, but it's just not a side that's fit for the Premier League, guys. They're playing a 4-1-4-1, and they're obviously going to drop back here and make a bank of 4 and a bank of 5, prove difficult to beat. And this poses an interesting problem for teams like us because it requires a different play style. You're going to have to break teams down. We don't play with a lot of possession. They probably will relinquish possession, so you're going to have to play a little bit differently, play creative football, and it proves difficult. In the game against West Brom at the beginning of the season, we only won 1-0. It's very difficult sometimes to break a side down, and we have some fitness issues. I have to rotate the squad. That's how we planned it. I'm putting in Rodgers and Branthwaite. They really deserve some more game time. I'm trying to balance getting results and giving these young players room to grow. I'm also playing Cantwell out wide. He's actually been doing very well there recently. And we're just going to try to grind out another win here, guys. Let's go.
Please make some noise as we welcome our visitors Everton and Middlesbrough. Here is how Middlesbrough are lining up.
The first 10 minutes or so were quite decent from us. We had some opportunities, especially down this left-hand side with Rodgers. He's showing great promise as an attacking fullback, getting forward, getting crosses in. This time Tony gets on the end of it and Stojanovic makes the save. But after that, it was lethargic from us and it was sloppy and just complacent. Middlesbrough, on the other hand, actually had some dangerous opportunities. Like this one, it goes just wide, and that is an alarm bell for us because they attacked when they could and they defended very well. They were concentrated. Look at these amounts of blocks. They're keying in on our players, keeping shape, and it was just an inspired defensive performance. They didn't give us a sniff early on. Cantwell on this left-hand side tried. Again, it was blocked, and they kept that shape, that bank of 4 and the bank of 5, like you can see here. It's very rigid. It's very disciplined, and it's very difficult to break a team like this down. We saw that early on in the season against West Brom. We get fortuitous here, actually. It drops for Cantwell in the box, and he just skies it. You have to put chances like that away. But it was Middlesbrough time to shine after that. Marcus Brown puts on a show. Wow, what a skill move there. He just passes him like he doesn't exist. He is dangling our defense, squares it to Payero, and it's 1-0. 1-0 against Middlesbrough, guys. I have no words. If you can't keep a clean sheet against Middlesbrough, who can you keep a clean sheet against? They're a newly promoted side. You should be handling your business here. We go straight to the attack after that. At this point, I am very, very angry. Cantwell sprays it out wide. Then he gets on the end of it. He waits, and that is a fantastic save from Stojanovic. He kept Middlesbrough in this game, and everything early on ran through Cantwell. He was playing excellently on this wing. He can play in the middle. He can play out wide. I very much like him. And we tried to get something going. Middlesbrough was defending very valiantly. Our press after possession loss was good. Phillips gets it. He squares it here to Tony. He sorts his feet, and it's 1-1, guys. That is a relief, because the longer it went on from 1-0, the harder it would have been to come back and score, because the defense just gets more and more energized. They get keyed in. Sometimes they do get fatigued, but the longer you don't score, the more dangerous it becomes. This time, Tony finishes it. Thank you. Overall, the first half was lethargic, but in the second half we composed ourselves and we came out with a lot more energy and a lot more belief. We finally started to attack Middlesbrough with pace and intent. We get this ball into Richarlison. He just barely gets there and manages to poke it past Stojanovic. What a goal, 2-1. This was very important because we needed to get something early on so that this game doesn't get away from us. And I have to say, Richarlison recently, the array of different finishes he can provide is just so good, and I hate to think that this guy might ever leave our series and our club. Like I said, he is just so key, and here we go. He's clever. He dinks it to Gakpo. We continue to attack. He gets it back, and it's just blocked by Middlesbrough, but we were continuously threatening them. It was an onslaught after this. And we have a number of decent opportunities. Finally, you can see we're playing with this confidence. A back heel there, it just felt like a breath of fresh air, and Middlesbrough fell apart, guys. Richarlison finds himself in acres of space in the box, and it's 3-1. After such a great defensive performance from Middlesbrough, and I admire that, they just fell apart. They couldn't handle the pressure. Once we got that second goal, it just unraveled. I mean, you can see there's no one marking him in the box. And that is just criminal. Absolutely criminal. At that point, I thought it was safe to bring on some substitutes because 3-1 against Middlesbrough, we can definitely handle. I brought on Gray, De Silva, and I believe Brooks. Get him a run into the team. They deserve some minutes. And Middlesbrough would try one last chance here. Dentinho. It's a save by Pickford, But for the most part, it was again us attacking, and I wanted to increase the score because it was a great opportunity to get confidence up. Almost, I don't want to disrespect Middlesbrough, but this is one of those games where if it does go your way, you can use it as a confidence builder. Guendouzi gets a shot from distance. It's a save by Stojanovic. Great goalkeeper, Stojanovic, it looks like. Tony gets a shot. It's cleared off the line. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get another goal, but it is a win, guys. 3-1. It was very dicey early on, and I didn't like the lethargy, the complacency we came out against Middlesbrough. And if we didn't correct that in the second half, this wouldn't have been the result it was. But we managed to get it, and now it's the December grind, guys. But we did pick up our 6 points from these 2 last games, so that's crucial. Okay, so that win does keep us at the top of the Premier League. We are still king of the hill, but this is where the challenge starts, guys. December is upon us, and look at this brutal schedule, guys. City, Chelsea, Liverpool twice, Leicester, fixture congestion everywhere you look, and apparently the easiest game in this month is Southampton, and that is not an easy game. We've played 2 games so far against them in this series, 3-2 win at Goodison and 4-1 hump at St. Mary's. They are extremely difficult to play against. They have very skilled players, and their threat starts from up top with their 2 mobile strikers. Look at this pace and mobility, guys. They move into the different channels, Armstrong and Adams they do, and it's just so difficult for our defense, which at times is world class and at times is Sunday League, to cope with this. That's where their offense starts, and they've improved their team. Their left mids and right mids are now out the window, and they've brought in new players. Zaha, which is just a handful on any day. He can beat a man. And Mbarba also looks like quite a player. And then behind them, they've got that tried and true midfield duo, Mr. Southampton Ward-Prowse, who is that classic playmaker, and beside him, Oriol Romeo, who is that more defensively apt player to cover him. This works so well, and they play such electric football. Their fullbacks push forward. It's a very attacking system. They still have Perrault, who's an incredibly technically gifted player. Walker-Peters is a very fast player. We don't know too much about him or Stevens in the CB position, but we do know Salisu has some quality. In general, that defensive line is fine. It's Premier League average, but what really stands out is how they go forward. They're setting up in a 4-4-2, and they're going to press with their strikers, which means I need to play Holgate so that I have more capability to play out from the back. And this is going to be an interesting clash of systems, because although the formation is the same, we like to cut in and create from the central areas with our wide players. They often do the opposite. They like to overload wide areas, have overlapping fullbacks, and sort of create their danger from there. So this is going to be a very interesting game, and here we go, guys. December grind starts. Let's try our best.
May we please welcome our visitors, Southampton, and your Everton. The Blues line up as follows.
The Saints came out swinging, guys, and they showed how quality they are. For the first 15 minutes, there was no question about which team was more dominant. They were all over us, and we showed our Sunday League footballing again. Dean steps out here for no reason. He gets played for a fool. It hits the post, falls to Armstrong, and it's 1-0 in the 3rd minute. Absolute shambles of a defense. Dean gets played for a fool with a simple 1-2 pass, and then it falls to Armstrong, and it's defensive shambles all over the place. We try to get something back. Calvert-Lewin has a great opportunity. Then there's a rebound, and you can just feel that it's not our day. It gets cleared off the line. But Southampton, like I said, they were all over us for the first 15 minutes. This was a very good ball over the top from Perrault, and this is counterattacking 1-0-1. 3 guys running into the box. Zaha, a little bit selfish, actually. He takes a shot. Pickford makes a save, and we're fortunate because that should have been 2-0, and they just kept on coming. Pickford had to make a number of saves to bail us out. It was really shambolic defending all over the place. Finally, we were able to get a little bit more than 5% possession. We had a counter opportunity We play it out wide to Alan St. Maximin, and we finally start running at them in the fashion that we want. He's played into Richarlison, back-heeled to Calvert-Lewin, and a beautiful goal to make it 1-1. As shite as we have been for the first 15 minutes, one counter opportunity, and it's 1-1, guys, and there's hope. And that's good. At least that part of our game was working. Unfortunately, Phillips came down with an injury, and it's the December grind coming up, guys. So I was really distressed to see that. If he falls out, we might have a problem on our hands. We try to continue to counter Southampton, but unfortunately they get it back. Play it around Phillips, who's not able to put in a tackle. Falls to Che Adams, and he bangs it in 2-1. Unbelievable. And it's because Phillips had to stay on and he couldn't put that more aggressive tackle in here. He steps off. Also, it's defensive shambles everywhere you look. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And the scoreline doesn't show it, but this should be much more than 2-1. We were getting destroyed in the first half. Absolutely handed to us. I take off some of the more exhausted guys in the second half, bring on fresh legs, but it was a drawn-out midfield battle, and there was really nothing to show until the 75th minute when Southampton had a decent opportunity here. It's saved by Pickford, and then off of the resulting corner, our defensive woes show yet again. Da Silva does good to muscle off the Southampton player, but cheaply gives it away. They're right back onto the attack. They move it around, and I mean, they're taking the piss at this point. They're recycling the ball toward Prowse. They're passing it where they want, and they switch it to the other flank. Pickford parries it into the danger area, and Da Silva brings the Southampton player down. It's a penalty. You really had to lunge for that, Da Silva. You really had to lunge for that. You couldn't have stayed on your feet, or you couldn't have trusted that the shot would have been blocked. You had to give the penalty away, right? Yeah. So Southampton gets a penalty here, and Ward-Prowse steps up. So I'm thinking, all right, well, this is in, because 9 times out of 10, this guy ain't missing. He hits the post. It goes off of Pickford's ass, and there's life in us yet. We try to attack, but unfortunately we get overzealous. Southampton receives the ball, and we show our defensive frailties yet again. Koulibaly rushes out of position. Che Adams into that vacated position, and it's 3-1, and I'm done. I am done with these defensive woes that we continuously have. Can we not have one clean sheet from time to time? Che Adams blasts it in, and it's 3-1. I mean, there's nothing Pickford can do. And that's it, guys. We lose 3-1 to Southampton. No, we don't lose. We get destroyed 3-1. Because on the back of that first half where we just got pummeled, this should have been at least 5. So I'm going to say we get away with a 3-1 loss, because that's the truth of the matter. And that's the beginning of our December grind, guys. So how do you think the City and Liverpool's games are going to go? Yeah. Well, the silver lining from that game was that Phillips didn't have a long-term injury. It's just, thankfully, a 5-day bruised elbow. So he will be back for that Merseyside Derbys. So that is great news. Unfortunately, he will be out for the next game, but it's a bit of a dead game. We're playing CSKA in the Champions League. They can't get 4th, so they actually can't progress into the Europa League. And we're in a situation where we do want to win, because if we win and Barca dumps, we get 1st in the group. That's important to me, but at the same time, I'm looking at it, and Barca probably isn't going to drop points to Frankfurt, though it only needs to be a tie, so I am hopeful. CSKA is a beatable team. They were quite good against us in the first leg, but that was because we were playing a little bit more pragmatic then and just trying to keep clean sheets. I feel like a home game now will be decently easy for us to win. I am going with a slightly rotated squad with a few different players like Tony and Brooks playing. However, I am going to still play a pretty strong squad here because I do want to win. You have to play the lottery if you want to win. And if by some chance Barca does lose to Frankfurt, maybe we can get 1st in the group. And that would be huge, guys. It really would be. So here we go. Let's get into this last game of the episode against CSKA Moscow.
Welcome the two teams to the pitch.
I wanted to win this game, so there was still that hope that we can get first place in the group, but also because I wanted to build some momentum heading into this Merseyside derby. And we started off the game pretty well, and it was free-flowing football, and we had some chances, but unfortunately nothing came of it early on. CSKA had some decent counter opportunities. They put it out wide to the pacey Ejuke here. He goes into the box and puts it off the crossbar. That was really close from him. And we would continue to go back and forth. This time we had a decent opportunity. Dean plays a nice ball out to Di Lorenzo, who slides it in for Ivan Toney, and he puts it away. 1-0, guys. Toney has been so reliable. We bought him for, I think, 18 million, if I recall correctly, and that is money well spent. He has 10 plus goals in the league. He's scored some in the Champions League, and every time he comes on, he does the simple things very well, and when he gets into positions like this, he can finish reliably, and that is so good to have in a striker who's not even our starting striker. Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin obviously start, but Toney has been probably the buy of that transfer window. Now, there was a number of opportunities that CSKA was able to get later on in the game. Pickford had to make a great save, and I'm so happy he's between the sticks. And then they had an even better opportunity on the counter. Ejuke again gets it, and this was an easy square ball, an easy layoff to get it in. It's not, he overplays it, but Pickford has to make a magnificent save nonetheless. The second half was more of the same, guys. Some brilliant save from Pickford to keep this at 1-0. And he really did bail us out. I decided to bring on Anthony Gordon at some point. He really should be getting more minutes. I have to rotate the squad. He hasn't featured enough in our first team so far this season, and that has to change. But like I said, Pickford was flying and making saves, keeping this at 1-0. We didn't have too many opportunities. One late on in the game in the 85th minute, Brooks gets it out wide, and Gray finds himself in some great space into the box, but Akinfeev pulls off a wonder save. That should have been 2-0. It was great positioning from Gray and a good header, but an even better save from Akinfeev, and this game ends 1-0, guys. We did the job. We'll have to wait and see if it means anything. Did Barca dump against Frankfurt? Are we first in this group? We'll find out in the next episode. For now, thank you so much for watching, guys. Please leave a like and subscribe if you haven't done that. Please leave any sort of comments, feedback for me in the comments section. I love engaging with you guys, and it's really valuable for me. For now, though, thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you next time, guys. Laters!